evening, and welcome to day one of the Genius series. My name is Gion, aka Gigi, and I will be your host and moderator for tonight's conversation. On behalf of the Genius RS team and our amazing panelists we have today, we are just really grateful that you chose to spend your time here. You know, the next one, it's a lot going on. Juneteenth is coming up, so whether you're an artist, a creative, a manager, you're just someone who loves music and wants to understand what's happening behind the scenes. Thank you for being here tonight. I want to pass the mic to our amazing founder of Genius RS, Miss Asia Lewis Redway.
Right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much, Gian. I do appreciate it. First of all, this is amazing to see everyone, all these beautiful faces here on the stage, and then also to our guests. I just want to thank you for taking the time to really be here. Whether you're an artist, a creative, a music professional, or just simply someone who just loves music and who just really, want to be able to, understand when it comes to the music business in this industry. One thing I definitely want to say, Genius is very, for me, is very intentional. I created this platform because from working in the industry, the music industry for over 15 years and being able to be in these spaces, I wanted to be able to create something that be able to just merge, close the gap a little bit, especially when it comes to our emerging and our independent artists who work so hard and so effortlessly to be able to give you, amazing music and to be able to just showcase their work, their talents. So I wanted to be able to have this space to be able to, give information, build relationships, provide resources and opportunities. So I really hope that you really take time tonight to listen to these amazing panelists that is here who is dedicating their time, their energy just to be in this room with you, who has so much experience and so much knowledge. This is hence why they are here and they are giving you so much. So once again, thank you. And this is a reflection of just literally the mission in which I'm putting together and that what I'm moving forward to and be able to hope to, continue to spread knowledge and expertise in regards to the music industry. So please make sure you are taking notes and that you are paying attention and ask questions. Please feel free to ask questions. And there's a Q&A box in on the panel. Please make sure you drop it in. Don't just be all quiet. Get active. Get some emojis going. Do your thing. Give us energy. This may be virtual, but give us energy. Okay, let's bring it. All right. And then I just hope that you at least take away either one connection, a resource, a network buddy, you made a friend in the chat, or just something to be able to help move you closer to your goals. So thank you for believing in the vision. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to all the amazing panelists and our amazing moderator Gian as well. And then we got some goodies for you later on in this event as well before we go to our listening session, and all the artists who are stepping up to be able to showcase their music tonight as well. So thank you for being a part of the Genius community, and let's get into this conversation. Back to you, Gian.
I love the energy in the chat. Yes, Brooklyn is very heavy in here. So this is not a lecture. This is a true conversation. So please think about how what you're hearing and how it applies to just your journey. So we are joined by a powerful group of just individuals and folks who just sit at different points in the music ecosystem. So first coming to the stage, we have Sierra Venus Gordon, who is the head of A&R of at Third Eye Tribe Entertainment. Woo! Which we had like so. Next we have Tavy Map Dieterville. She's the
Tavia.
CEO and founder of the Tavy MD agency. Oh yeah,
Tavia.
there we go. Woo!
I'll look you up. It's Tavia. Thank you, Gigi.
Next we
Pleasure.
have Tatiana Snead, who is Pandora's music programming lead and the founder of The Lab. Lastly, we have Barry Rosenblum, who is the founder of Green Tea Studios and Distribution. So once again, thank you all for being here. Can you hear? Before I move on, I'm gonna make sure. Okay, there we go. All right.
Gigi, can you hear me?
Can we see everyone?
Hello?
Are we having any tech issues? Okay, there we go. Yay!
Somebody.
Sierra, Tatiana, Tavia, you guys good?
Yes,
Okay.
Avia dropped me out of the studio.
Okay. So
Yeah, I'm
instead
good.
of me just reading long bios, I want to hear from you guys directly so people here can understand kind of who you are and how you show up for artists. So to kind of just ground us, we're going to start with just you guys sharing two things. One, what your day to day actually looks like behind the scenes, not just from your title. And then two, one misconception artists often have about your area of expertise. And we can start with Tatiana since I see you.
So excuse me, I'm Tatiana Snead. I am a music programmer for Pandora Music. I program R&B, Caribbean, and African. My day to day essentially it really just depends on the day. So essentially, like our schedule for the week is set. So for example, Mondays we're just kind of going through all the pitches that we've gotten from the previous weeks, and then adding all that into a release calendar that is organized by Friday. So every release Friday is a group in our calendar. So on a week to week, we're getting anywhere. It's between like 100 to 200 releases, and that could be singles, albums, EPs. Then Tuesday, and then some on Monday also, we're doing meetings with labels and distribution companies who are pitching essentially like a virtual version of the email. And then on those calls, they're basically giving us a deeper rundown of what's coming that week or what's upcoming, and maybe we can collaborate on initiatives or support. Then we also have a couple team calls Tuesdays. Wednesdays, we are selecting our priorities. So every genre has 4 for the week. And then from those 4, our marketing and social team is selecting about 10 across all genres. So it's kind of frustrating sometimes because even if we select 4 of those 200, there's no guarantee that all 4 of those are going to get support. We might get support for 2. Thursdays we are programming. So Thursday we're listening to everything and then deciding where we want to place everything on our programming offerings across all genres. And then midnight is when we program everything into Friday. Friday we do outreach. So that's pretty much the week. And then throughout the week, in addition, like if there's artists that are in the city, we will do playbacks with some of them, hear their albums, interview some of them, content captures. So that is kind of just based on their scheduling. So I will come into New York maybe once or twice a week for that kind of stuff. Shows, obviously, I will pull up the shows when I can. And yeah, my week is kind of all over the place, if I'm being honest. It's set in stone as far as scheduling, but kind of all over the place. But yeah, and I guess one misconception is that I think a lot of artists think that playlisting is a marketing strategy. Like I feel like somebody should put it on a shirt that it's not. And a lot of artists build their entire campaigns around getting editorials. And I try to tell artists that, yes, editorial is great. Literally, it's my job. There's a space for it, but it's not the early to mid 2000s when streaming launched. So getting on a playlist is not going to break your career. It can give you a new audience, right? Like if the audience is unfamiliar with you and it helps you grow, but you're not going to go from 0 to 1,000 just because you got a placement on a playlist or a cover, frankly.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. I'm not an artist, but I assumed get on the playlist would be a goal. So now I
It
just
should be, but it shouldn't be everything.
right,
Yeah.
right. It has to be a combination of things.
Yeah.
Next, we're gonna go to Barry because Barry has so many friends in the chat, so popular. Once
I need
again,
to
what your day to day kind of looks like behind the scenes, and then one misconception artists have about your role, your area of
for
expertise.
sure. Well, Tatiana, first of all, we need to connect for sure because I have so many artists in the R&B scene, and I've played like a pretty big role in the R&B scene in LA in specific. So definitely want to link up with you. But I'm Barry. Everybody, I guess some people here know me. Nice to meet you guys. I'm the founder of Green Tea Studios and Green Tea Distro. Just like quick background. I started green tea after dropping out of Binghamton in college. I don't know if you guys know where that is. It's upstate New York. my goal after like kind of running the music scene up there wasn't any like infrastructure for the artists on campus. So I started like the events and the hip hop club and the spoken word club, and had a studio in my dorm and got kicked off campus for that. And I was just like kind of tired of being small in like a really small pond. I moved to LA and just interned at a bunch of studios and found that like none of the engineers were taking any of the independent artists seriously. I was an artist myself, and I started fizzling out of that and started Green Tea Above a Laundromat in 2017. That was really like all the funding I had to get it started. And the whole ethos was professional, comfortable, affordable. And that really took off and landed with people here. We got so booked that we moved to Santa Monica within like 8 months, and we've been there now for 8 years. It was around that time after moving in, I started writing at Lyrical Lemonade. I was like on the narrative team, and I was also just writing articles, which I mean, something like Tatiana said, like playlisting's like basically obsolete. Like I think media and just press in general, like articles are not the way people are consuming now. So I wouldn't say that's like a job now that's as relevant as it was then. Obviously lyrical still has its impact in other ways, but like no one's reading blogs in that way anymore. So at the time it was really, really impactful, and I was really like helpful in that regard. So we started helping artists with media and press. And then when COVID hit, we started doing this thing called Green Tea Radio, where we were reviewing music on Instagram Live 3 days a week. And it quickly went from like 20 submissions to like weekly to like 500 to 800. And it was just like an insane amount of work, but we figured it out, and we became like somewhat of a staple during that time to be connecting artists during COVID, producers, and we were doing like Zoom sessions for artists. It was really cool. And then when COVID was ending, I had like event coordination experience from college when I was at Binghamton, and I was coordinating all the concerts for the schools. And so we started an all-day music festival series called Sunday Sounds. I think like the cosmic timing of like all that was insane. My first show that we threw in LA had 150 people, which was like, I was not ready for that. And then by the fifth or sixth show, we had anywhere from like 500 to 1,000 people coming to every show. And a lot of the A&Rs were on the hot seats for their jobs during that time. And like half the city was coming out, just in the industry side. And so it became a really big opportunity for the artists that were performing to not just perform in front of like 300 or 400 people, but like, okay, Blast A&Rs here, or representatives from TD are here, or people from Epic. It was really crazy. And essentially like a few acts ended up getting signed pretty successfully, and very quietly during that time, we got 2 offers to become a distribution platform from 2 majors. We kept that as tucked as possible. We didn't want people thinking we were going major route. Like we didn't really intend on taking any offers, and we didn't. We kind of just stuck to our guns, built out our own sort of concept, and built out Green Tea Distro while we were building other more intimate events. As the scene in LA in general is not like what it was. We saw the events kind of withering away. It went from like the peak of it was like anywhere from 800 to 1,000 people, and then it started going 600, 400. I was like, okay, so events aren't going to be the thing. People are probably looking for more intimate, like artist-based events. And so we started another event called Night on the Aux, where we get 50 to 60 artists in a room, and we bring a different panelist from the music industry to come provide like very intimate feedback for every person in the room. That's gone on to be like really successful, and we've toured with it in 17 different cities now, including different spots in Canada. And all while that was happening, we were developing Green Tea Distro. We ended up partnering with a 3-time Grammy nominated independent record label called Mind of a Genius. And we went with them for 2 reasons. One, they had taken independent artists with zero gas money coming out of college all the way to the Grammy stage on multiple occasions. So that really resonated with us. And then on top of it, their first call when they asked us about distribution wasn't how much money do you need, or how many artists are we trying to get? It was what resources can we provide for your artists? And that was like the answer or the question I was looking for people to come and ask us, truthfully. We ended up partnering with them. We launched Green Tea Distro in 2024. And we're offering A&R feedback, playlist pitching direct to curators at each of these places. Now I know Tatiana, so I know people at Pandora finally. So let's go. but we've done roughly 19.5 million streams in the last 17 months as a business. We've seen 4 artists go on to get signed through us. And it's just really great infrastructurally. You're able to book a call with your distributor. We have an A&R team that you're able to talk about your marketing and your branding, and it's just a really hands-on experience. And if you're looking to get more out of that, that's essentially what we're doing. It's the community's incredible. I mean, anyone Trillani's in here, is the community. Green Tea's like, really, it's a family vibe with the artists that we work with. Everyone's connected. We have a Discord with like 950 artists internationally now. It's really, really cool. Great way to just be meeting other artists and like-minded creatives in the space. And if your goal is to like just get more out of what distribution is, then this is a fantastic place for you. And we love working with like dedicated artists and people that want to take their career to the next level. And that's why we're here. Asha and Genius are really an amazing platform as well. So shout out to them for bringing us on today. And thank you for letting me share my story. Appreciate it.
Thank you. I love how you both kind of speak on being able to know your industry. Like, I think a lot of people, especially creators, when we step into any music, into media, know your industry so you can follow trends. When you see things are phasing out, how can you pivot and stay marketable, or just, being able to stay with the times and stay relevant. I love that you guys kind of both touched on that. Next we can have Tavi come on and just share again what your actual day to day looks like behind the scenes, and then one misconception artists often have about your area of expertise.
Hey, everybody. My name is Tavia. Um, I am the owner of Tavia MD Agency. I actually have bothered Tatiana a few times. Her and Akim is my homeboy, so I love him to death. But I've been in publicity for 15 plus years. Clients that you may know that I've represented are 2C, Paul Wall, currently Kim, Leela James, Warren G, a lot of legacy talent and acts, as well as a lot of unsigned artists. And I've also done some movies. So I've done PR for Summer of Soul via Questlove, Spiral, which is, I think it was like a more or less a spinoff of a horror theory with Chris Rock and Samuel L. Jackson. Also did a documentary, Time, which was about a young woman documenting her way of waiting for her husband to get out of jail. So all of those things I like to have fun with. I also have done some YouTube series. So I've done PR for I Promise for LeBron James, Will Smith's with his Get Fit journey, and Tabitha's Tabby. I think it was called Tab Time that Tabitha did. So I've been in a lot of different spaces in PR, and I think that what rings true to what Barry had to say is visibility is just key. You're not going to be able there's going to be a lot of sauce that goes in the mix. It's not going to just be bothering Tatiana for a playlist or, you know what I'm saying, or just going. You have to be visible and you have to constantly connect with your fans, connect with who your audience are. The great thing about social media, or like I have to like to call it Beyonce's internet, is that you could pick up the phone and you can connect to whomever you want. And as long as you're consistent and you have something that someone is gravitating to, or they're not, because one thing that Tusi did every Thursday is he would play unreleased music. It wouldn't be like the whole song or whatever, because obviously you don't want your things getting stolen. But he would always just tease things. And in whatever song in the mix that people would beg for is the song that we put out. That's how we put out favorite song, actually. And that went to number 5 on the Billboard and did some astronomical things. It went 4 times platinum. And that was just him teasing his own music on TikTok and Instagram consistently. He would change up the songs, but whatever song people liked the most, which happened to be that song, is what he fed his fans. And I thought that that was really smart because now, the industry doesn't have A&Rs, doesn't have people that are developing you. You really are just going out there. So there are a lot of times when people are not ready for publicity. And I say that as well because of the fact that they haven't built up enough buzz to warrant it. Because I can put you on every drop mic, I can put you on the radio, I can pitch you to Tatiana. I can even get you on MTV and BET, but that doesn't mean that you'll automatically become famous. I tell all my clients publicity is an expense, and it's definitely something that doesn't more or less garner an ROA, but it does make you visible if it's strategic in your way. But there's nothing that's going to ever hinder you just direct to consumer connecting with people on a consistent basis. There are a lot of artists that I encounter that don't believe that their socials is a part of what they should be doing. They feel like they should just be in the studio and they should just be with producers. Social media is another job. Like I like to say, is another aspect. And if you don't know how to do it, then you need to save some money for somebody else to do it for you, because you still need to create your own means of promotion. Now, what I can do, of course, is help you shed a light and make and magnify what you've already done, which that's the job of a publicist, is to make someone visible that's not. But if you are not doing the work, I tell all my clients, you're not going to succeed. And I've been doing this, like I said, 15 years, dealing with people who, there are a lot of legacy artists who are just now getting in the internet game, and they're just now trying to appeal to Gen Z artists. And then there are Gen Z artists who they overthink everything that they're doing, that they put nothing out. Like, I'm like, you have all of this content, you got somebody following you with a camera and you don't post. Like, what's up? Like, and they were like, oh, because I don't know if that's going to get any traction, or I don't know if that's going to do this. Well, you won't know until you post it. You won't post it. There's nothing wrong with deleting something, archiving something. Post it. Post as much as you can, connect as much as you can, because that's when realistically the real money's going to come into play. That's when the labels are going to start beating you down. That's when, all of those things are going to happen, and you won't just be another person pitching. You know what I'm saying? Because like Tatiana just explained her day, you're competing, even me, with every single major label that exists. And those artists are more fine-tuned. They are more, more polished. You're still trying to get in the game. So even before you get to a Tatiana or get to build a community, build your fan base. Like, let people check for you. So then it's a no-brainer when it comes across their desk. Connect with it. Go outside. Connect with people. Find out what events are happening. Put yourself in a space where you're able to be in a position to connect with other artists directly. Open for people. Then you'll be able to make some money by doing just that. So my plight in publicity is really to get artists to understand that they have a job and a role to play in every form and every level of interaction. And while, yes, it will always be my job to make you bigger and a bigger magnitude, it's a partnership. And if you're not ready to partner, then you're not ready to work. Thank you so much.
Okay, y'all, this is just the intros. Like, I hope everyone listening are taking notes. I didn't even get into the nitty gritty of the questions yet, and everybody is just fast rounding with, really pouring into everyone here who is listening. So I really hope you guys are taking notes. Lastly, Sierra, your day to day, and then one misconception of artists have about your area of expertise.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Sierra Gordon. I also go by Venus. My pronouns are she, her. Now I'm head of A&R with a independent label called Third Eye Tribe, and we're backed by infrastructure with Universal Music Publishing Group. We have a publishing deal with them, and we have a distribution deal with The Orchard. We also have a partnership with a company called Cord Cash, which provides artist investment opportunities.
I think you muted yourself by accident.
Sorry, when did I get cut off?
Oh, the last part I heard distribution, and then it muted.
Okay, so we have a distribution deal with The Orchard, which is a Sony-owned company. We also have a partnership with a company called Cord Cash, which is an artist investment company. It helps artists to get funding against their royalties without having to give up ownership of their music or any of their copyright. It's just in exchange for a revenue split.
Wait, muted again. I
I don't
heard
know why it's
revenue
doing
and then
that. Okay,
muted. Revenue was the
hold on.
last word. Are you good now? Uh-oh. It's clearing up a little bit. I see it. Let's give her a few more to
So
just.
I think it could be an audio issue on her side, in a sense, because it looks like there's a freezing. Sierra, if you want to hop out and come back in, that'd be great. And then if we can move along to be able to start questions with Barry, and then once she comes in, we'll get her intro. Thank you.
All right, so the first set of questions are going to be about ownership, distribution, and revenue. So I'm going to start with Barry. As you know, ownership has become kind of one of the most frequent used terms in the music business. What does ownership actually look like in practical terms for independent artists today?
Right, you have a few different revenue streams, right? Obviously, like if you're working on music with producers or engineers, there's like ways to go about it where you're retaining 100% of everything. If you have a good relationship with your producer, you might want to figure out a way to keep them in the equity so you're not spending, especially if they're a really good producer. It's not something you want to ever. I mean, like just a great example. I mean, look at how Drake and 40 operate. Like you work with a producer like that your entire life, that figuring out an equity situation is worth it. But if you're doing like one-off beats, a good example would be Panda by Designer, right? Like that's his main revenue stream still in his life. And originally he wanted the producer wanted to do a 50-50 split. um Designer told him, I'm just going to give you, I think it was like $2,000 or $3,000, and the producer bid on it, and he kept 100% of the music, obviously, until it got, that song went like double, triple platinum, I don't remember what it was, and then it got remixed by Kanye for The Life of Pablo. So, I mean, there's many ways to like coin it. I think keeping your masters as much as you can is very integral to what you're doing. I think we're just doing my questions really quick here. I gotta run in like 5 minutes. Yeah. No, it's all good. No, no, no. I don't want to take your spot either, but I think it's like really integral um, to keep as much ownership in any business you're in, whether that's you go into business in construction or you start an LLC, like whatever it is you do. I think retaining as much ownership and equity, especially in the economy we're in, is really, really important. So ownership in the music industry now, you want to retain as much of your master, you want to retain as much of your publishing, and you certainly want to work with people that want to invest in you. So if you are retaining ownership of everything, I would say make sure the people that you're working with feel like you're giving back to them and pay them correctly, right? Because like if someone's giving up 50-50 split in a record that can do well, like they should certainly be compensated for their work and time. But if you really see like the value of like, okay, this record might go off and get 10, 20 million streams, I don't want to split the revenue on that. Like you're going to have to come up with money and figure that out yourself. Like that is just the real reality of it. Um, Me personally, my distribution platform, artists are keeping 100% of the rights, royalties, and masters to their music. I'm very anti any distribution that's taking a single penny. It's either you're fully doing subscription based or you're fully doing like 10 to 15%, and like they're investing time into you. I'm not going to call out any names because I don't know who works with who, but there are companies that do strictly like percentage based distribution, and there's nothing wrong with that as long as you feel like they're actually putting time and effort into you. If you don't, then there's literally no point in being with them, because if you have a song that does, let's call it 2 million streams by itself, $700-800 pre-tax, why would you lose 15% of that before you even get taxed? So me personally, it's like where you feel like the most energy coming from other folks. Like if you're with again, I'm not talking badly about them. Just a good example is Video Structures. They're strictly um they're strictly percentage based. So you're either giving up 10 to 15%. If your rep there is not giving you effort, and then you have a song that goes viral and you get 10 million streams, we're not talking about $7,800 anymore. We're talking about a lot of money, right? We're talking about 38 grand. Why would they be taking, I mean, that's close to $5,000 from you. That's not funny anymore. That's rent. That helps with life. And so, like, if you're not getting effort, I would tell artists to go subscription based for anything. It's a small investment generally. And if you're with a team that cares about you, there's really not more that you can ask for. Overall, when it comes to ownership, I'm always like, get as much equity as you can in anything you do. So like, I'm very bullish on artists retaining equity in whatever sphere that is, whether that's on their merch side or and that also goes for management, right? Because now I don't know if everyone knows this, but like management pre-COVID was like, we're talking like 10 to 15% stake in an artist and all revenue streams. Nowadays I hear managers coming in asking for 20-25%. I would build up your leverage before you even take on a manager. Like a lot of artists get it twisted that they need management before there's a business to manage, right? Like unless there's money that's being dealt with, there's not much to manage, right? So when you come on and an artist calls me and is like, yo, I've got 500 monthly listeners now, do I need management? No, you do not need management yet. Like management comes in when there's a bag that you don't understand how to handle and they do, or there's things that you can't do, which you should be able to do with that amount of like notoriety or movement going on. And you should learn how to do, but you don't need someone coming in and taking 20% of something that doesn't exist yet. You make $400 a year. You can't afford for that to be $320 if they're not helping you. And realistically, management's not going to be able to help move the boulder at that point. It's going to be you. So all your different revenue streams, keep as much equity of it as you can until you have leverage. Oh, you're making $10,000 a month. You know what? Forget equity in my business. I'm going to pay you as a manager $1,500. You're not taking any of my streams. You're not taking any of my merch. Anything you bring to me, I'll give you a 20% commission on plus $1,500 for your hours. And that's it. I don't think we're in a world where people need to come in and take equity from their businesses anymore. First of all, AI exists, so all of your tasks can be mediated, not your music. We're not talking that's a whole other 2-hour podcast about music and AI. I'm talking about how you utilize like the resources that we've been given to move at a faster pace. So your content editing, your captions, all of that can be done in literally 15 minutes now. You don't need a manager taking care of your socials anymore. So point is you have your royalties, you have your mechanical, you have your management side. Keep everything until you can. And that's my take on ownership. Do not be with a distribution company that's taking any percentage of your equity. It just doesn't make any, unless they are really, really giving you the time, right? And that there are cases of that, but I personally have experienced that infinitely less than I've experienced it more. So just, putting it out there, I think it's really important to focus on the people that are focused on you. And yeah,
Thank you.
that's my take on that subject. There was one more question for me too, right? I forgot what it was.
It was just about revenue opportunities. What do you think artists are leaving on the table because they don't fully understand the business side of their career?
Sure,
I think
sure.
you
I mean,
kind
I'll
of
tell you
touched on a
what.
little of this, but go ahead.
No, I mean, I'll tell you what, and then I do have to jump. I do have a family matter going on, guys. I'm so
Yes, yes.
sorry, and I just do want to thank Asha for bringing us on here and such an incredible panel. Like, I'm honored to be on here with everyone on here. They have such incredible experience, and Sierra, I'd love to connect with you as well outside of this because I didn't get to really hear your whole story, but I appreciate you guys having me on. Real quick, I mean, what I think artists are leaving on the table is the mindset that they need to be on Beyonce level stages to be making money. I'll just tell you, I do business development for an artist named Mari, and she's absolutely crushing it right now. And our whole goal was let's get her to 1,000 fans. And right, when you guys break it down, if you have people that are down to spend $40 to $50 a year, you have 1,000 of them, you're making 40 to 50K. Not that that's enough job money to go quit your job, but if you could take $40,000 without having to go to a label and now reinvest that properly, you could change that into 50 to 75 in the next year, and then all of a sudden you have 2,000 to 3,000 fans down to spend money you're moving, you know. And so don't think like I need to hit mass market. The labels have lost control of mass market, so you certainly as an independent artist have zero control of that. I just want to make everyone abundantly clear, and I'm not an asshole, I'm just being honest. Like, you have no chance of hitting the hot 100 as an independent artist now. It is impossible. And your goal should be to create spaces that people will appreciate your brand and will invest in you, because you only need 1,000 people to help take it to the next stage of your career. And really, like, if you have people that are commenting and are showing up to your lives, send them a free t-shirt. Like, invest in them, because they're going to be the ones long term. The best story I heard in the industry was when Travis Scott did his first Rolling Loud set, and there was 38 people. I heard his management went out with a clipboard and got everyone's email, phone numbers, and they're actually the people that they beta test all of Travis Scott's merch, and 5 of those people are now staffed on his team as well. So, you know, if you're a day one fan of an artist yourself that you're like catching on early, it's really, really important that you use that same perspective for your music. What are you invested in? Are you invested in their brand? Is it just their music? Is it the way that they communicate with you? Is it the fact that they go live a lot? And to Tavia's point, like, you need to be posting relentlessly to find the correct people. You guys don't have product issues. Artists do not have product issues. They have product placement issues. When you go to the grocery store and you see like the most disgusting looking olive oil in the olive oil section, you're like, ooh, who created that? But then you see this like glorious like packaging and you're like, oh, I could get behind that. It's the same shit inside the bottle, guys. You know? So at the end of the day, it's olive oil. You guys have a song, someone else has a song. How are you packaging it to make them press play? And what are they investing in? Are they just investing in the music? Or are they investing in your brand? And like, these are all things that, first of all, we discuss at Green Tea Distro on a daily basis with our artists, but more importantly, some of you guys should all be thinking down and thinking about on a daily basis. So that's what I think the biggest misconception is in music, is that you have to be some megastar, but you have 2 or 3,000 fans that are down to spend money with you, you're set. So
Mic drop. Thank you so much, Barry, and I'm well wishes to your family. I hope everything's okay.
yeah, well, I appreciate you guys for having me here. I wish I could have stayed. If you do it again, I'd love to come back and give more time. I appreciate you all. Also, my name
I
for
was gonna say
LinkedIn,
where to
so you guys
find
can friend
him.
me, is here, and I just put my number in there. Ash, if you could connect me to all the panelists, that'd be awesome. But I appreciate you guys so much, and have a great rest of the time on here. You guys are all the artists are in great hands. So appreciate it, guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Sierra, we definitely want to invite you back to have your moment. So please go back to
Yes, I do apologize about the tech
You're
issues
fine.
earlier. I think it was my AirPods. But hello again. My name is Sierra. I also go by Venus. I'm an artist as well as head A&R with Third Eye Tribe. So we're an independent label that's backed by a couple of entities. We're backed by the Orchard, as well as Universal Music Publishing Group and a artist investment company called Cord Cash. Now, Cord Cash gives artists cash advances against the royalties on their music, is how that works. So we put artists in a position to get funding without having to give up any ownership of their music, in exchange for a royalty split. But artists will get the lion's share of that royalty split. We also have a production arm called Anime Hip Hop, where we produce world building integrations like comic books, video games, as well as animations. So one of the biggest projects that we have out right now is called Kishi and the Island of Dreams. It's a comic book. And for those of you that are familiar with WWE, that is Rikishi, who is the Samoan wrestler, WWE Hall of Fame superstar. He released his first comic book with us, and that was Kishi and the Island of Dreams. This comic book was slated as the first official Samoan superhero. And originally it was only being sold for 25 copies, $25 per copy, 300 issues. And they went and did a tour around the U.S., Comic-Con, WrestleMania, events of that nature, and sold out everything. And now these comics are being resold on eBay for about $125 to $150 each. So it's become a cult classic. In addition to that, we have a comic book called Spirit Language, which is the label owner's project. It's a comic book, video game, and an animated series all in one. And the third project that we have is called Sherlock Holmes. So for those of you who are familiar with the cast of Moesha, this is Nisi. Yeah, so Shar Jackson. Yeah. So it's supposed to be a, Sherlock Holmes, but with a black female lead. And so the idea is that we have this flowing ecosystem where we want artists to not only, be mobilized with, community and their numbers, but funding, and then using that funding strategically to seed, different facets for, their wealth, because branding is important. Just having the good music isn't enough, and just having your music, being listened to isn't enough either. But where are you getting your return of profit? So to answer the question now, segueing into that, what my day to day looks like. It varies, honestly, because I do a lot. So that can look like, doing a playlisting campaign. So for artists who are on our roster, their music is being distributed through the Orchard. And so we can pitch their music to playlist curators from the label side. So instead of manually reaching out to these different curators, they are getting pitched from the label's entity, and usually have a higher chance of getting their music placed. But for artists who are seeking like the a la carte services, who want playlisting, we go and we match music that is similar to the sound of the artist, and then we are manually pitching and emailing these curators and getting them placed on these playlists so that they can get their listens up. The last artist that we did a playlisting campaign for, she went from one monthly listener to 775 active listeners in that monthly campaign. Two of the songs, they got about 10,000 streams collectively, but for people who like saved that music into their library or who came back to that artist, it ended up being about 775. So for somebody who started at one, we're vested in organic growth for the artist's music base. So it can look like that. I'm often like drafting service agreements because I believe that everything that we're doing for the artist should be transparent. One of the, and this is just a little gem for any of the artists in here. I've always pushed that an artist should have an LLC before they start spending money on any of these things. That's studio time, spending money for services, even with me. PR runs, playlisting, etc., etc. These are things that can be written off if you are accounting your expenses correctly. So I make sure that whatever you're doing with me, you can track and you can, uh, keep up with it accordingly and make sure you're doing what you need to do on the business end. um, I'm also, I do alignment calls as well as building release roadmaps for artists. So a lot of the times I get artists who, they have good music, they have content that they're ready to drop, and they don't really know, how they want to get it out. Like I had an artist who, they have a music video that's getting ready to drop under our video distribution deal with the Orchard. And excuse me, in anticipation for that, they're releasing a collection of reels and some photo content that we're going to be doing together. But they wanted to go and hit every mic drop platform in our area in anticipation for in 6 weeks for that video drop. I was there to advise them that that's not how we should do that. And sometimes you need somebody that can give you that correction. Your heart is in the right place, right? You want people to see you, and you want to have some other activations in between the content that you're going to be posting daily on your page. But there's no need to exhaust your resources all in one go. Because then when we're promoting the next song or the next video drop, then what are we going to do, right? We're going to go back and revisit all of the 20 platforms that we have again. So, it's about having, being that ear for the artists. I see where the holes are and I fill in the gaps. It's about building an infrastructure for the artist that is effective. Sometimes that can be, an hour-long call. Sometimes that's a couple of 2-hour calls within a week. Just depends, and I also have my own platforms. So the first platform that I have is called the Vibe Concert. It's an acronym for Vibrant, Innovative, Bold Expression. So it's a multidisciplinary platform that showcases not only recording artists, but also I did stand-up comedians last year, and we also added a fashion segment. And so the idea behind the Vibe concert is to make a cultural staple where artists can have the experience of a festival without having to, pay festival prices, and still having the intimacy of being able to still work on their craft, their stage presence, their stage control, performing with show tracks, etc., and even networking and having the right people in the room for them. I started this platform about 3 years ago, fully self-funded, because I was tired of being an artist myself and going to these showcases and seeing that people weren't really giving us anything truly valuable outside of just, okay, you can perform your two songs, and that's cool, but where is the footage, the professional footage? Where is the video coverage of my performances? Where are the press write-ups that legitimize this event? So when I say, hey, I went and attended this platform, and there's something to reference, you know what I'm saying? And so that, right, a cash grab. And so in my platform, I wanted to make sure that artists really got something valuable out of the experience, as well as their guests. I, from a consumer side, nobody wants to just sit and listen to 20 artists and not have any other activations in between that, no vendors. So I decided to split it up between a fashion set. The first half, we platformed 3 local designers. They didn't have to pay anything. I just wanted them to come and bring their pieces. I provided the models and I provided the photography. And it gave the crowd something to kind of look at and gather while still having the space to, network. Then I paid for 2 local headliners to come, and I had them perform at the end so that all of the, emerging artists could take advantage of the fan base that was there for the headliners. As well as the vendor market, having a variety of things for people to shop and choose from so that it stayed interesting. And, for this next segment that I'm going to have, I want to have dancers and other like acts that I want to bring so that it's truly a multidisciplinary event. And my last event, so I've done this program twice. My first event sold out. My second event, we did it at $3 bill, and I had over 200 people come for this event. And for where I'm at in this space, and completely doing it without any sponsors and funding it on my own, I see that, and it was successful. I see that it is a formula that I can share to other people, because another thing that I've seen in this industry is a lot of gatekeeping. So I take what I learn and I try to duplicate it across the artists that I work with. So I had my platform, and then I co-founded a platform called No Gatekeeping with an artist. His name is Kyle the Hooligan. And the idea of the platform was to take artists who already had buzz and bridging the gap with artists who are still trying to find their way. And that event, we had like almost 300 people there, big crowd. And, that is something that I'd like to continue to do with other artists, helping them to get their own shows going. Pick 5 people that align with your image, and let's set up something for you guys to get going and get your crowd base going. So, all of that can be covered in a strategy or an alignment call with an artist, merch tables, and just getting all of their ideas written down in order, and then keeping them accountable to it, figuring out what the tangible goals are for all of their aspirations, and then making sure that they stick to that and utilizing all of the in-house resources that I have to help them get to that place. Um, Oh, and I also have my production platform, Venus Images Production. So I do photography. I've been doing photography for 10 years now. And so I use that for artists as well. I provide discounted services, heavily discounted services to get you guys like photos and content and reels, because I know that it can be a lot. But it's a deep passion of mine to take pictures and stuff. So it's nothing to edit, like 30 pictures for y'all to be able to post on your page. I know there's photographers that charge per edit. I just do one flat session fee, and every picture that we take that looks good, I make sure you get it, because I want to make sure that what I provide is holistic. So yeah, so that's me, and that's a day in the life.
Thank
Oh, and the
you.
last question, a common misconception about my position. I think a lot of people look at A&Ring as just scouting, but just like I just went through, it's not just the scouting part. It's being an individual who can see where the rest of the, like I said, where the rest of the holes are. Where can I guide you? Where else can I put you at? What other doors can I get you into? A good A&R will be able to scout, the good music, but they'll also be able to see how they can get you connected with brand deals, different platform collaborations, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, that's me.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I
Thank
really
you.
love that you touched on so I had a brain fart. I had it at the tip of my tongue. Oh yes, when it came to you creating your own kind of platforms as a community builder myself, building what you don't see. And I think that's a testament for the people in here, the artists in here. Not only are you guys navigating the industry, but you're also creating your side passion projects. Like there's just so many resources that they can tap into. And I think it's up to people to be vigilant and looking for those resources and not waiting for things to happen. Like you have to be outside. You have to meet people. You have to mingle. You can't just be online. You have to like stuff is out there. So I think that was I love that you like touched on all those different things. Thank you. I'm going to open this next question for all three of you. And it's really going to be about branding, PR, and visibility. I think that's like the main thing independent artists are struggling with. I think a lot of artists, they're struggling with the difference between publicity and visibility. People think they're the same thing. So just in your experience, I think all three of you are well equipped to answer this. What makes an artist truly marketable versus someone who's just simply being active online?
Well, publicity is visibility. I think the difference that you're looking for is the difference between publicity and marketing. So marketing is normally it comes with a cost. It's you're contacting um let's say you're contacting Vibe magazine and you want to run an ad, or you're contacting the Shade Room. That is a form of marketing, the baller alerts and things of that nature, because their normal coverage is for A and B list artists. So if you don't rank in those notions, then you're basically paying. Or you can do, like I said, in Vibe, you can pay for a page to advertise yourself within their publication, or you can pay for other things with a publicist. What you're paying for is their relationships. So if someone is paying me, they're paying me because I have relationships with Vibe, and so they'll do that coverage for you at no additional cost because my relationship weighs heavy in that spectrum, so they'll just cover you. Or I may have I always say relationships get you in doors that your talent could never. So sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And I hate to keep saying your name, Tatiana, but Tatiana may get like 300 emails and she has to go through all of that stuff. Like she mentioned, she only getting 4 people on that list, but she and I may have a great relationship. Well, she go, all right, Tavia, I'll listen to what it is you have on the table. Or Juan over at Title, who I have another great relationship with. He may say the same thing. All right, Tavia, look, doesn't fit for this week, but it'll fit for next week. Those are just based on relationships. And again, it is a publicist's job to make you visible. If your publicist is not making you visible or introducing you to different audiences in any capacity, then they're not doing their job. And while I can agree with Sierra that you shouldn't just go and do every drop mic, if your publicist has great relationships with those platforms, then you aren't continuously spending a bag on that. You are able to more or less save money in that retrospect, because if you're paying any platform, that's marketing, that's advertising, that's not publicity.
The thing I would add to this is before you even get to a publicist, you really want to work towards making yourself a solid brand. Like you are the brand. And that's whether you are on the executive side or an artist, right? Like I'm a brand. And I have to package myself a certain way. Granted, if I'm being honest with y'all, my personal branding is very, I'm a human, so take it or leave it. But that's how I've always been, so it works. I don't have to do just music tweets or just sports tweets, because people know if they come to my pages, it's going to be a plethora of shit and you either like it or you don't. And that's my brand. However, as an artist, like you really have to figure out who you are, and find a way to essentially package that into a world that is uniquely you. And then that is what you market. You market that world, and then that's how you land these type of opportunities, because different brands want to buy into you, right? So let's say you're an artist and one of your interests is sneakers. When I go to your page, you don't have to have like sneaker collections in your stories or anything like that, but like your sneakers in some of your press shots should be fly, because that's your thing. So when we see you outside somewhere, we always know that artists always got a fly pair of sneakers on because they love sneakers. Like, that's their thing. Maybe you have a sneaker community on Twitter where you guys are just sharing different releases that are fire, stuff that y'all have, shit that you picked up recently on the weekend, whatever. But you have to find a way to build a world that is so genuine to who you are, so that when you are making music or you're posting or you're involving yourself with a brand deal or whatever that is, it makes sense to your fan base, because this is all part of the world that you've built. If you do not know who you are, you don't have a sense of direction, everything that Tavia just said is irrelevant, because it's hard to market or position an artist who doesn't know who they are. And until you figure that out and start building the world around you, the person, all this other stuff really don't matter. And that's including the music. I think a lot of artists get stuck in this space where instead of developing your own sound or figuring out who you want to be as a person, you are trying to do the thing that is working for the next person, or you're trying to mimic the vocal techniques or the tone of another artist, right? Like, there's a million Janae Aikos in my email. And granted, that's not even to say the music is bad, right? It could be a great song, but why do I need your song if we can just go listen to Janae Aiko? You need to find your own sound, because while your song may be good, there's no longevity in that, because as soon as Janae Aiko drops an album, I'm not listening to you anymore. I'm going to listen to Janae Aiko's album. However, if you build your own sound, or develop your own sound rather, people are coming to you because it's uniquely you. When they hear this sound, they can only get it from you. So I always say, like, whether we're talking about world building or just developing your sound sonically, like, you really do need to figure out what that is for you, because all the copy and paste, there's no longevity in that. And then if you're doing that, there's nothing that Tavia can do with that that's really going to sustain itself. She might get you 1 look, 2 looks, 3 looks, but like, again, when you put this stuff in front of an audience, the immediate critiques or the comments going to be like, oh, this is just like copy and paste Queen Naja. This copy and paste Beyonce, like in the way that they do for Chloe. And granted, I don't agree with all the Chloe stuff, but a lot of the stuff that she does kind of give Beyonce. So when you're seeing her be positioned, it makes sense why she's getting the critique she's getting, because she needs to figure out her sound. And that's a lot of what people are saying. It's a valid critique. She hasn't really found her sound. Granted, just gonna drop a little preview. I won't play anything, but she is dropping an album. She already posted about it. She's dropping an album this Friday. I do think with Timbaland, she has found a sound. It's really, really good. So shout out to her. Finally. But again, you really do got to find what is your sound? What is your lane? What is your world building like? And it has to be very unique to you, because if it's not, all the publicists talk, you don't need a publicist. You need to figure out who you are.
I love this. Not to cut, just to jump in, but just to ground us a bit. What I'm hearing is there's a difference between an artist who is doing music because they're passionate and someone who wants to make money. And I think a lot of people, especially the one, it's clear when it's an artist who just wants to make money, because the stuff that you both just spoke to, they don't even think about. And the community building. People think that I have to get famous first and the community will come. No, you should be building the community first. I feel like that's the kind of the gist of what we're getting at. I really like,
because it's something what Barry said too, right? Like, a lot of this really, you need to, people talking about your music is more valuable than you just sending something to me and me putting it in front of people. Granted, I could do that, right? Because I do have I have influence in the community, the music community, as like when I post something, people are going to look for it. But you can't rely on tastemakers to push your music. It's more valuable for you as an artist to have people talking about you in the space, so that when I come to Twitter or I go to Instagram, you don't got to pitch me. I just see it. So if I'm not on it, or I don't get to your email, or you don't have my email, it doesn't matter, because you still have a whole bunch of people talking about your music. And like, to me, that's not even just to me, but it's more valuable to have that, because then outside of that, let's say I don't like your song, or Juan at Tidal doesn't like your song. If you have a whole community around you saying this song is fire, even though y'all don't like it, we have to program it, because there is a demand for your music. So the community around you is way more valuable than anything that we could do as programmers. at the most basic tip. So it's like you really need to really dive into building that community, because that's what's really gonna create a sustainable long-term career for you.
Ciara, did you want to add anything before I jump in?
Yeah, just to piggyback a little bit off of that. I mean, I feel like Tatiana and Tavia covered most of that, but I would just add, build from a place of storytelling. What's the story, that you're trying to tell when people come and look at your page, and making sure that's clear when people come and look for you, look for your content, look for your social media, because there's different ways that can be, that can manifest, whether that's through your aesthetic branding, whether that's through, your visual aesthetics, how your videos are being shot in your reels, the color grading to the photos that you're posting, the etc., so on and so forth. And I would also say too, not to get so caught up in the numbers part, because a lot of the time I've run into artists who, like, on their social media side, they have, and this is a real example. She has 500,000 followers on her Instagram page. Her videos are constantly going viral on TikTok and on Instagram, but her Spotify engagement is at about 2,000 monthly listeners. So the conversion isn't always there. And that's because when you look at her page, there's no story. She just makes content. You know what I'm saying? There's no, there's nothing to foster a connection between the 500,000 fans that she has and the art that she's trying to create. There are artists who have 2,000 or 5,000 followers on their social media, but their content is highly engaged. Most of those followers are converting into listens on their Spotify. And so that comes from the, just like Tatiana and Tavia was saying, the branding, the storytelling, and the world building that you're providing to the communities that are your audience.
Thank you. I'm big as a storyteller person. I tell people all the time, you master that, no one can tell you anything, because that's what a lot of things, that's what's missing, I feel like, in multiple industries, storytelling. Like, what is the story you're trying to convey to your audience? Why should I listen? And why should I listen to you? What is the entertainment factor? I don't know. That's just my egg drop.
To
But
that point too, and I just not even a spiel, but two artists that are doing a really good job with storytelling right now, if y'all want good examples, are Ruben Vincent. He's doing like a whole series that is like, here's how I
yes,
got here. It's shit is fire.
sorry, I
Like,
got so excited. Yes,
yes, so
yes, I love
fire.
him.
And then Larizi, granted, he's building a story around where he's from, and that's another key thing, is like making a connection to where you're from. I think a lot of artists have lost that, and it's like it's so important to have ties to like where you're from. It's who you are, like. And I think there's so many different reasons why we've lost regional music, and a lot of it has to do with radio laws, but a lot of artists who have that connection to their hometown, like, they also have really long careers, because that's essentially community building. Everything they're doing is for their community, in that sense, where it's like, I'm doing this for Trenton. I'm from Trenton. For Trenton, like, everywhere I go, first thing, who are you? I'm Tatiana. I'm from Jersey. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you really want to
Vic
make sure
Mensa
they're
is
part of the
also doing
story.
some. Vic Mensa is somebody else that
Also,
I love, who literally is doing nothing but walking up to an orange tree and telling you a story every time
right.
that he's doing it. And he's very much so taking you to Africa, and even all of the platforms that he's connecting with are all African based. So I love that he's literally just telling the story about where he's from, or he telling you about something he see on the news, or something that he not feeling on the internet, and he's speaking
Yeah.
about just every issue while peeling an orange. Like, I just think that that's the coolest thing.
Yeah.
I love that. Tatiana, you actually have a perfect segue into the next section about sustainability and just long term growth.
Mm.
Of course, I want you both to answer if Sierra comes back. But we're just, I think that when it comes to metrics, yes, they matter, but I don't think people are taking into consideration what they want their longevity to look like, and also how to measure that. So I think just beyond streams and followers, in your opinion, your expertise, what are kind of indicators that people listening to this that suggest to them, like, hey, I'm actually building something sustainable?
I think it's really case by case, right? And I think this is why I always tell artists, like, figure out what your intent is for your career. Because if getting money is your intent, then that's your intent. I'm like, I've never like that. If that's what it is, that's what it is. Some people are here today and gone tomorrow. That's like one hit wonder. They were in it for the money, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to know that that's what your intent is. So for that type of person, success would probably look like having a platinum song. As long as they got one, they good. Selling out a couple shows, as long as they sold out them couple shows and you don't hear from them again, they good because they did what their intent was. But I think for long term, we talking about like, are they building an email list, right? Like, does that kind of stuff matter to you? Because that email list is going to take you like all through your career. You're going to be able to communicate with your fans directly as you build that email list. So if you lose your website, if you lose social media, if Instagram don't work tomorrow, you can always send an email. You always have that email list, and that'll take you through your entire career. I would say, are you intentional about where you're doing your shows, right? Like, I think artists who are having to cancel a bunch of shows, in my opinion, granted, I'm not super well versed in touring, but on a surface level, when I see a lot of shows being canceled all the time, is because whoever's on your team was not intentional about where they were booking the shows at, right? Like, if you go look into your data, you can see where your most engaged fans are, and the smarter team is going to put you in rooms that make sense for that audience, as well as put you in the cities where that audience is, right? So if you have a highly engaged fan base in New York, you might do the Blue Note or Babies, right? Versus doing a show in Philly where nobody's really listening to your music. You might have to cancel that because you don't have fans there. And I feel like when I hear long term, it's really, for me, it's just where is the intent and how is that showing up in the things that they're doing? Even when we talk about content, like, does their content look like these are things they actually care about, right? Like, are you talking about your story? If you like skateboarding, do I see that show up? Like, it really is case by case in that sense. And also, does it feel genuine, right? Like, I see a lot of artists where we're giving you a guy's example of content pieces, but maybe that's not something you want to do. That's not something you're interested in. So don't do that just because it's working for another artist. If you making hometown content genuinely does not resonate with who you are, that's just not the type of person you are. Don't try to create that content because it's working for somebody else, because your fans they feel that. It's like, Liz, this is not even the type of shit they really be on. So like, why are you making this? And a lot of times that's why the content not connecting, because we know what's genuine to you and that's not it. Or even like the TikTok dances, and that's a very cliche example, but if you're not a TikTok dancing type of artist, then what are you making TikTok dances for? Like, it's you don't, when people say content and making content is part of the job, they're not saying go make TikTok dances. And I hate that, because I have a lot of conversations with artists on a week-to-week basis, and every time this conversation comes up, like, I almost laugh now when I hear it, where it's like the first thing is like, I'm not trying to do content, I'm not trying to make dances, I'm not trying to do dances. Like, if you're first, like, if that's all you think content is, like, you really need to go back to the drawing board. And I say that respectfully, because there's so many different kind of content that literally you don't have to think about. Like what Tavia was saying earlier, she got artists where it's like, you got all this video being taken of you throughout your day-to-day life. That's the content. Like, you don't have to think about it. Just do it. Just live, and have one of your friends record your shit and put it out. That's the content. You don't have to do a TikTok dance. You don't have to, so today I'm eating this mukbang. Like, if that's not true to you, you don't have to do it. And so I think for me, when I'm seeing artists who just are, again, just to wrap this up, when they're doing things that feel authentic to who they are, when they are doing shows in cities that are reflective of their actual audience, when they are taking time to engage with their fans in a real way, and not being so disengaged because they think it's cool. Like, to me, that's what longevity looks like. It's like the artist who cares. If it doesn't look like you care, I don't think you're going to have a long career.
Well, for me, I mean, while I definitely agree that the metrics matter, you definitely got to understand why people are coming to your page in the first place. I say that because I've worked with a lot of female artists that are beautiful girls, and people are not coming here to hear your sadiddy bop. They coming to look at your ass. So thus, they ain't coming there for the music. So her engagement may be in New York City crazy, but if they're not coming to listen to the track that she's put out, then they're not selling. And that was I used to represent Rennie Rucci, and she's a phenomenal lyricist, a phenomenal lyricist. But due to her background and being from the strip club, people were not coming there to literally just hear her rap. They were coming to look at her. And and that's a little different when it comes to males, because it really doesn't matter how they look. If you could spit, you could spit. I mean, Biggie proved that to everybody. But it's harder, I feel, in a metric form for female artists rather than male artists. Also, I want to say that when you're looking at your metrics, I also believe in trying to integrate a product, because again, just because somebody's coming to look at you don't mean that they coming to spend money with you. So you can still, again, be a trip. I have a video on my page right now of Boosie running on the stage, and I literally put me. That's how the Knicks are going to be running into the theater after that win. And for the most part of that, I got like 400,000 views. But was that replicated on any other post I did? No. People came to my page to look at Boosie running. They didn't come at my page for that. I also believe that Instagram is the new business card. So, like the ladies is saying, I have a personal page and I have a work page. Tavia MD will only showcase my work. You will never see anything else. You may catch my kids on a National Daughter Day or a National Son Day, but other than that, it's only going to be my work. If you can't clarify what you love and who you are within your first top 6 posts, then you will lose your fan base every time. They need to know that that's what they're coming to look at. That's what they're coming to engage with. That's what they're coming to interact with. And if there is definitely Tanika, let's go Knicks. If that is definitely not what they are seeing, then that's not what they're coming back for. And if you can't sell things and it's direct to consumer, then you're not going to be able to sell a ticket. And that's why I've always stated that touring and showing up to events that like Sierra's putting on and connecting with an actual fan base. If you go to her event, she got 300 people in the room. If you get 100 of those people, that's more than what you had before. And then being intentional, like Barry had mentioned, with connecting with those 100 people. So thus, when you have a show and you're selling tickets for $30 a ticket, that's $300 in your pocket that you didn't have. So again, you have to literally just be intentional and understand for yourself why people are coming to your page or to your platform. And if it's not you, like Tatiana said, don't do it, because people are going to be able to sniff that out.
Thank you. I have more questions, but I do want to give anyone listening in a chance to ask questions. If not, I got some more stuff because now I want to know some things because they preaching to me and I'm not even an artist. Is there a Q&A section, or we're just looking in the chat? All right. Let me give you guys a second to think of some questions. If not, I would love to go into like a lightning round with these 3 ladies. Thank you, Jazz. I'm glad this is helpful. Hope you guys don't hear my dog right now. I guess we can move into just a lightning round. I would say, what is one investment every independent artist should prioritize this year?
Can I just say, I just want to reel back in on what I said earlier. An LLC. If you don't have one, get an LLC. Pay your filing fees. Get all of that done.
Anyone want to jump in with that? No?
I would say an editing app. I'm trying to. I'll when I remember the link, I'll throw the one that I use in here. But essentially, one of them apps where if you have somebody that's recording all your video content, or even if you're recording video content on your phone, you could dump the video into the app and then tell it. It's like this kind of an AI, but not, you're not creating AI content. It's just AI editing. So you will tell the AI, make 30-second, 1 minute, and 3-minute clips from this 10-minute video, and then add captions, and it'll literally spit out 30 videos of content that you can now post from that 10-minute clip that you uploaded. I think every artist should have that, especially if you don't have an editor with you.
Tavia, you want to ask something? I think this will be it because we do have to move into the listening session. So I want to give Tavia a chance.
I mean, I definitely agree with Sierra as far as the LLC. You definitely want to be able to one track your expenses and be able to write things off and establish yourself as an artist. If you're not doing that, you're not making money as an artist, then I like to tell people, then it's just a hobby. You're not unless you get some coins for what you're doing, then it's still just a hobby. In order to transition to that, you really need to show up and interact in a real way, connect in a real way, and be in a position where you can direct to consumer, sell whatever your product is. Be your own pusher. I need everybody outside trying to be their own hustle man. You need to take it back to Martin days and show up and always have what the people need. Be authentically you is definitely no one like you, no one created like you. So always just try to show up as yourself. The people like it, they don't. Make sure you like yourself. And that's it.
Thank you so much. Well, thank you, ladies, so much for being here. I truly hope for anyone listening that this was helpful. Again, I think I learned a lot, even from the intros. They were giving us free game, literally, so many resources. I think they gave us such a good foundation. Not us, me, but you guys as artists, just a good foundation for where you should start. If you join this not knowing what your next step should be, literally, I hope you took notes because these three ladies kind of really came in, and Barry too. I wish Barry was able to stay, but thank you guys so much for the resources. And just really quickly, tell everyone where they can find you if they want to reach out or work with you in any way. I'll start with Tatiana because she's right on my screen.
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Tatiana Snead or Instagram yan.snead, YAN period SNEAD. On my Instagram, there's a couple different things linked in my bio. So if you want to just submit your music direct to me to be able to potentially get feedback on your releases, and it has to be R&B, there's a link there for that. Or my email is linked and you could just pitch me music for consideration on Pandora.
And I'm Tavia MD on Instagram. My website is www.taviamd.com. You could definitely scroll over and book a consult. If there's any other additional questions that anyone has, always here and happy to help.
Sierra just fell off. Really quickly, I can share her Instagram. Let me just pull it up from the panel. Hold on. I got y'all right now.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. I really, really appreciate the generous team for having me. And I hope you guys have a great night.
Thank you. And Sierra can be found at venus.images underscore. Just sharing for you guys. Okay, well, we're gonna invite our amazing founder, Asia, back. And she just has some words before we move into our listening session.
Hey everyone. So first of all, thank you. I know a lot of people had to drop. It's crazy. We're gonna get into our listening session, but I want to thank all of the participants, all of the audience members, for being active and for being able to be a part of this panel, just to hear the knowledge, the wisdom. And also, of course, like I said before, Sierra, I know we're gonna close out with you in a second. Just really quickly, it just some resources that we just want to share. So I do want to give some shout out to Chelsea Studios. We are every artist that is participating in the listening session for this week and next week. We will be doing a giveaway, but we will make the announcement on next week's listening session. So please make sure you tap in with us and come back. Please scan these QR codes. Every single person that was on this panel was able to just give you so much knowledge and so much depth in regards to being just in music. So please scan these QR codes, connect with the panelists. Make sure you connect with us. We are giving away some complimentary items and resources right now. So please connect as well. And then I'm going to shoot this over to Tatiana to talk about her AMP program with Pandora as well. So please make sure, again, tap back in with us for next week series. We do have another amazing panelists and also some another amazing listening session. So guys, scan the QR code. I am all the artists that are present here. We are going to do a free artist spotlight for the month of July. But that's going to be one spotlight that features you and your music. So that is something that we want to be intentional about and be able to give back to you. Okay. And then Sierra dropped again. Technology is something amazing, right? All right. And so then, yeah, I'm gonna let you go through.
Yeah. So it's a QR code, right? Is what it's linking to, correct?
Yes.
So what my QR code is linked to, every month, they didn't do one for this month, but they'll do the next one in July. We have a tool called AMP. So if anyone's familiar, I'm sure all of you guys have used Spotify for artists. We have Pandora for artists, but I'm not sure why they didn't just call it that. It's called AMP. So AMP allows you to essentially track all of your data in one place. You can also upload, like if you have merch, you can sell or direct to merch through AMP. You can direct to your concert tickets, like literally everything that you could do on any other tool for artists, whatever, insert whatever DSP. We have that also via our AMP tool. You can also create campaigns around your current singles, which help drive your music to the algorithm. So let's say maybe I didn't program it, or the hip hop programmer didn't program it. If your song performs via the algorithm, we will get that information from our analytics person, and then we can then potentially program it from there. However, so we do this monthly Pandora for Creators intro to AMP sessions, plus office hours. So you will be connected with our AMP team, and it's, I think, like a 1 or 2 hour webinar that's geared toward AMP users or people who used to use it who need a refresher. And it'll include a complete demonstration, a walkthrough of various Pandora tools through AMP, as well as an extensive Q&A session at the end of it if you want to stay for that also. So they'll also be offering an optional extended freeform discussion after the whole webinar, where members of our creator team will be on there to answer whatever questions you have, or if you're having any difficulties using AMP, or let's say you try to request access to your artist profile and you haven't gained that yet, they'll have someone on there from the team that can help you with that directly. So definitely join. If you miss next month, they do one every single month, and when you click the link or where you scan the QR code, there's a drop down on there of every single one for the rest of the year. So it's really just based on whenever y'all can do it.
Y'all make me want to be an artist now. It's all these resources. I think I'm ready to drop a song. I feel like I'm equipped to do. I feel like I get a little following, a little community.
So there's the QR code again, so you can be able to get it. If you have any trouble, we will be sharing out these resources to everybody that participated on tonight. So please make sure you tap in with us if anything else. All right, so we're gonna once again just thank you so much for being with us. We are going to get into our listening session. So let me go ahead and exit this way, and then Tatiana, I already had messaged you in regards to artists. All right. So let's see. All right. So first up, we have no other. So we got We Are Band Nerds, and this track is called Self Care.
Squad. Thank you for the prayers, but I'm awful. Can't stop it till my family's pockets all full. Need my grandkids, boo, she talking awful. I'm leaving legacies, I bet you raising awful. I need some sleep. Down, I'm so exhausted. I'm stretched like the neck of an ostrich. I'm nauseous. Problems every day, B, but you got this. They hate your progress. You got too much weight, you gon' drop this. I told them, watch this. I just need some time, just a little bit. Life be overwhelming, I'm for real shit. Log off on you hoes on the low. Shoppers back in line, now you know, now you know, now you know, now you know. Self-care, cause the world won't. Now you know, now you know, now you know, now you know. Self-care, cause the world don't. Oh, I'm on that frequency. I'm on that frequency. Hey, how about this frequency? How about this energy? energy. I got this positive, it's always coming back to me. So come and visit me. I'm on that Babazar, say that you're particularly. And when I'm feeling pain, I try to take.
So once again, that was We Are Band Nerds, and that track was Self Care. What's your thought?
What I liked about that one is it's rapping over a rock song, so it piqued my interest. I feel like that could be really dope to hear live. I'm not sure if this is something that is your sound or if this is just something that you are tapping into for this song in particular, but if this is your sound, I haven't really heard much of that, so it could be a very unique niche lane to build into. Mixing sound great. I'm not sure if that was live instrumentals, but if it was, that was dope. If not, I would definitely suggest doing a live version of it, or just having content around a live version of it or a performed version of it, but thought it was dope.
All right. So the next one we have is Zaya, and this is her track Magic.
You're gonna see it, but don't flip that the other way. It never works out that way. When your vision is imprisoned by the eyes, you can never free the vision in your mind. It don't show up when you want it. It don't show up how you like it, but it'll come when you least expect it. So when your trials come, don't reject it. It's just like magic, just like that. You can fall off and get it right back, just like magic. Fall off and get it right back, just like magic. But it ain't magic, that's God. It ain't magic, that's grace. When you hold on to that faith, it's gonna work out anyway. It ain't magic, that's God. It ain't magic, that's grace.
So that was Zaya.
Couple things. I like the tone. I will say I'm curious, like, if that is a sped up tone or if you actually are singing in that tone. If it's sped up, my only critique for that would be just be mindful of when you're doing that, because when you're performing that, your voice is not gonna sound the same, and that would be off-putting for your audience because it's like it's not equivalent. However, if that's actually your tone, I think that's really dope. I think the vocal arrangement on the Harms was really good. And that's really, I thought it was a pretty decent song.
All right. Next, we have Tanika G for Here Come the King.
My style is impetuous, my defense is impregnable, and I'm just ferocious. I want your heart, I want to eat his children. Praise be to Allah.
Yeah. This sound like the South right here. Got the piano written and shit. Welcome to the dirty. Yeah. Stay hungry like I'm still broke. Yeah. Plotting on me trying to sink a boat. But you know me, if it's 3 feet, then it's shit's creek, I'ma still float. Rock wrist with a dope beat, we the fucking go. Yeah. Cold world need no coat. Trying to hang with me, getting no rope. Boombaye, that's what they say like a mythical. Any track, I'm Mike Jack, smooth criminal. Looking for me, here I go like a mystic. Mention my name, what you done. Thought of the joke, brought him to smoke, but he ain't got lungs. 24/7, 365, I grind. Step in the ring, you hear the ding, the crowd sing, kick up the
See me busting heads, I came to busting some heads. Fly like jet, jump bitch, better go to feds. Nightmare similar to Fred, watch where you tread. Look what they made me, dumb crazy. Rabbit dog got rabies, mine's crazy, don't play me. Shot make him lay, he be pushing up 2 lips after the lazy. to the gods, all praises due to Allah. Rule like Jah, them seen sicker than Saw. As I administer scars to swimming with jaws. Flip like Dominic Dawes, and his blood sport make him split similar to John Claude. Witness the God, the king is back, mean is rap, the dream is back on the applause.
Say the word, I'll eat you. They see power, scared if we realize.
All right. I wish there was like a fader.
I feel like
That
there's
would be
a
great.
theme
Like,
going too with the
I
rock
love the build up
stars.
on this. That was really
Again, I love that there's a rock element to it. One thing that I've been like, so I want to also give like the preface. I program R&B, Caribbean, and African. So take my critiques with a grain of salt. But yeah, I feel like I keep telling artists in the hip hop space, like, you really want to make music that you could perform live, because there's just like performing rap music with a live band. There's just something special about that, and I kind of like that both of these two rap songs had the that rock element to them, because I feel like live they would just go so crazy. And then to what people are saying in the chat, like, I think like the way this kind of like I loved in this song in particular that it kind of built up into the rock element of it, like the heavy metal rock. It didn't start off that way. There was just like it was teased a little bit until it built up into the heavy rock metal, or metal rock, excuse me. So it kind of like created movement within the song. I would say the only part that I would recut maybe was that song. It was like singing a little bit, the melodic part where it built up into the actual heavy metal. I didn't feel like that was done well, but the rest of it I thought was good.
okay. All right. And then we are going to go into Kennard Reed. This is Bad Man.
You can function right that champagne down.
Kenny. Kenny. Love.
Yeah. Bad motherfucker. Hey, mister. You. Ride you the chest. Ha. Talk back up. I'm a bad motherfucker.
Show me.
He a threat. You ain't know. Got champagne diamonds.
Shining like the sun in the sky.
Ow. Ow.
All these foxy ladies.
Am I brand new? Yeah. 22-inch rim spinning.
Oh, that's a bad man. Don't you play with him.
Too fast.
That's a bad man. Don't you play with
Gotta
him.
hurt yourself.
Mess around, he gon' need you. Make
God, tell
play, bang, bang.
Let's double it. I'm a cold killer. Fur make it think I'm a dope dealer. Smooth like a newborn baby bottom. Yeah, I'm in the kills at the beauty parlor. Huh? Cause my chick like that and my boo like that. When your money long, you can move like that. Who you? Ain't nothing new to me, Jack. Been to play so long.
All right.
I actually personally was drawn in a lot more by that second verse. I personally would have moved that in a little sooner, because I thought it was like the second verse is money. If I'm being super honest, I feel like writing wise, I thought it sounded really good. Like everything sounded amazing, but writing wise, there was nothing that really in the first verse that really kind of like pulled me in. It kind of just felt like vibing. And then as soon as the second verse came in, it was like, all right, here's the song. So I might have arranged that a little differently, where that second verse came in sooner or had the second verse first.
All right. So we are going to go to Pink Pimp. Help me.
She don't like when I move, but told me clean my soul some money up. So so clean my image up. No longer want the one instead, it's trying to fit the title up. But you don't understand the way these streets don't help me up. Even without a place to see, wasn't leak, kill my money up. When mommy come disturb my peace, I get it back just with a blunt. It cost me bread, but make me more. Never could've gonna re-up. She talking about Jackson City Stakes, waiting to come mess me up. One mistake put me to wait, so I keep my vision up. Her neck too loose to give a pain. Worried if I'm coming home, she do them things that keep me focused, help me keep from doing wrong. She help me. Don't come around the spot tryna upset me. I'ma hold you down if you mean real peace. Probably move around if you distract me. Can't be distracted in these streets. Can't let these niggas get this satisfaction and see me bleed. Can't have my mama crying to the pastor mourning over me. Can't have my sister fighting tears saying who I used to be. Can't have my brother growing up a menace talking about LLP. Long little key, sometimes I'm on a little boy that I barely gotta be. I put a suit on way too early thinking about the man I be. I was 10 plotting, thinking of my future legacy. But I must say I'm glad I found a way to be who I used to see. Well, partially
Pink Pimp.
I think the strongest part about this song was the writing, particularly the hook. However, the vocals need to be remixed. Like if we were to have received this as a pitch on the Pandora programming side, if I'm being transparent, they wouldn't program this yet, because as currently it sounds like a demo because of the mixing. So I would just suggest getting it remixed.
All right. So next we're gonna go into Winston Ward Jr. Mess That I Made.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can I sing for you, baby? I know you wanna leave. We know that you want to. And I can't even fault you. It's hard to believe after all the shit we fought through. And this time I really lost you. So you gave me chance after chance and I abused that. Tears in your eyes only prove that. Took all of your trust and I throw it all aside. It made sense in my mind, no. Took you for granted like I never lose you. I'm just hoping that I don't confuse you. I told you lies and you still believe me. Might be the time that you really leave me. You gave me grace and I gave you delay. You held it down and I drifted away. Now I'm staring at the mess that I made. Hands together praying it ain't too late. It's like I missed a shot, it's like I dropped the ball. It's like I put our love on silent when you call. It's like I threw away this whole thing and caused so much pain. I need you to believe me when I say that I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I know that I'm sorry. Forgive me, I'm sorry. Sitting in the dark with your last text. Never been a man who regrets, but this one is different. Like a song that I never got to finish. But it's still painful when I try. Baby, don't say goodbye. Always replay what I could have done right. Just don't walk on my line. Took you for granted like I never lose you. I'm just hoping that I don't confuse you. I told you lies and you still believe me. Might be the time that you.
That was Winston Ward Jr. Mess That I Made.
I think it's clear that you can sing, so it's not even for a lack of being able to sing, but I think, again, like the last track, the mixing needs work. I also would suggest more, like, maybe writing with others or writing a little bit more so that you can develop your writing. Because one of the things that kind of, like, for me, on the verses, the end of every line ended with a rhyming word. I feel like it was too on the nose in that sense, where it's like, if you just develop it a little bit and kind of like story tell a little bit more, and maybe every other line you're rhyming rather than every line. Because in that sense, respectfully, it's like one fish, two fish. So it's like, it kind of gets redundant in that sense. And that would be my only critique. The writing needs a little bit of work and a better mix, but you could definitely sing.
All right. So first of all, we want to thank you for the listening part of this and being able to give your feedback. I wish, we could stay a little longer, but we want to be on time here. So anybody that wants to tap in with you in the sense of it, I think we just shared your link in the chat in regards to submissions. So if you want to do any submissions, they'll be able to tap in back with you.
Yes, and I could get into that a little bit. So the link that was shared in the chat, I work with a company called High Note, where they essentially give me a space on the platform to, it's like a digital community essentially, where it's a chat just like this, and then there's a playlist that I build based off of submissions. So people, the whatever you submit to me, I'm going through it on a monthly basis, picking out 20 of those to then decide what I want to review from that, because there's like 400 or 500 in there at the moment. And in those submissions, I'm then building them into a playlist, and then on each song individually giving detailed feedback on the track. So if you go into the track, you can see all the comments or the voice notes that I'm leaving at different points throughout the song. So I'm doing 20 of those a month through High Note.
All right, and I do see the link is was put into the chat. Please make sure, and once again, if you have any issues or anything like that, or you didn't get to see the link, please make sure you tap in with us so that we can make sure all these resources, everything that we share tonight, get to you. So we want to thank you so much for your feedback, for being a part of this listening session. I do apologize, Barry couldn't be here with us, things of that nature, but you one band.
I did want to offer
there,
too.
you came through, you did your thing.
I did want to say too, for just a piece of advice for any of the artists that are still in here. Yeah, well, because I actually have a very extensive background in music. So I went to school for music. I was a voice major, piano major. I've been playing piano since I was 3. So this is, I'm not just saying shit because I think it. Like, I actually studied music, but I'm saying that to say, I could feel like your music is this or that, but your fans might like your music and not see anything wrong with it. So it's like, you have, when you're asking people for critique on your music, whether it be me, your friend, the fan on Twitter, you have to take all of this advice and feedback with a grain of salt, because this is, my feedback is based off of my taste and what I would program, or what my colleagues at Pandora, particularly, what I know they would program. What we would program might be something totally different from than what Spotify would program, than what Tidal would program, or even what the fan would program to their own personal playlist. So it's like, it might be something that I'm hearing that it's just like, because I'm a perfectionist in that sense, where this could be better, but another fan might love it as is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if it works, it works. So you have to, like, yes, a lot of the feedback that a person in my position would give you would be valuable, because we're working with this music on a day-to-day basis, and these are music that this is not, the songs are charting, the songs are going to radio. So like, it's not for us not knowing what we're talking about, but that's not to say your song is not great or not good enough because there's something about it that I don't like or somebody else doesn't like. It might be great to your fans, right? So it's like, all this stuff is, to his point, subjective. I think take what you need and leave everything else.
All right, so I really hope you guys really heard that and take your notes. Make sure that you do tap in, and for those who got songs, please get them on the submission list. All right, and keep going. Tatiana, thank you so much for tapping in with us tonight, and I'll be connecting back with you.
Thank you guys. I hope you guys have a great week, and happy Juneteenth. If you're going to the next picnic, the next parade, be safe.
All right, brother. So I'm going to bring Gian back, and we're going to close out, guys. Thank you so much. All right, so let's get Miss Gian back to the stage here.
I was
All
bobbing.
right, so this was amazing. Thank you so
Yes.
much for just being here to be able to moderate as I'm in the background trying to troubleshoot and do all the other things, answer questions, a lot of that. And
Listen, I want to thank you. I think I want to ground you in this moment. You put together an amazing panel today. You created this as a space for independent artists. I can tell you're very passionate about this. You're fighting for independent artists to have clarity, to have access, and to have that community. So you're building something that can help them be sustainable, and that's real. So pat on your back, girl. You did that.
And to our audience, thank you for all the participants that came through. even though some couldn't stay, which we understood. Listen, you got things to do. It's all right. But also for stepping up to sharing your music, to listening, to getting the feedback. Also, I hope you really took some notes, took some gems. I am going to share with you again the information of everybody that was on this panel tonight. Shout out to Chelsea Studios for collaborating with us on this. Once again, please come back next Tuesday. We are going to pick the winner for our studio time here and for Chelsea Studios NYC. Gian, thank you so much again. You're amazing, creative, amazing host, moderator.
I love this.
All right. And guys, please, once again, if there's something that you missed or you have any questions or anything like that, please don't be afraid to tap on us. You can follow us on all platforms at Genius R Us. So that's GENEUSRUS. So like Toys R Us, Genius R Us. So make sure you tap in with us. Okay, we are here to spotlight you, to just be able to showcase your story in regards to your music. And remember, also, please tap in. So all artists that have newly released music, all right, we are going to give a free artist spotlight for the month of July. All right, so please make sure utilize that, especially if you have a project coming out or something's happening and we want to be strategic about it. Let's do it.
Good night, everyone.
All right, so everyone, listen, it's real music, real style, real people. So genius of it all. So thank you and have a good night.